over the next few days. In John chapter 18, we're going to be going through leading to the crucifixion of Christ and talking through the handing over of Christ. As you know, your verses today, John 18, 3 through 8, you have Judas, who was the one who betrayed Jesus Christ. He's the one who handed him over. I think it's important for you to understand, and maybe you already know this, but that this really was the pinnacle of the ministry of Jesus Christ. That Christ did not come so that he could have an earthly reign, or he did not come so that he could fulfill all of the demands of the people around him. He actually came to fulfill the law on my behalf and on your behalf. He came in response to the fall in the garden. He came in response to Satan's victory over Adam. It says in Romans 5:12 that through one man's sin, death spread to all men because all sinned. And because of the sin of Adam, we were then all born in our sins, and we were all trapped in our sins. It even says in John, the last verse of John chapter 4, that Christ knew what was in every man, and what was in every man was sin. So as you begin to walk through the process of Christ being given over for crucifixion for your sake and for mine, please understand that that had been the plan from the very beginning. That Hebrews said that without the shedding of blood there is no forgiveness. So Christ had to come and do this. And even as you watch Judas hand him over, understand that God was actually using Judas to accomplish his purposes. And he was using the chief priests to accomplish his purposes. And he was using the Pharisees to accomplish his purposes. When you begin to understand that in the Scriptures, you understand that the death of Christ was out of necessity. That Christ came as our substitute. That He came to die and be raised in our place. That He came to fulfill the law in our place. And then when He was raised from the dead, He conquered death so that death would no longer master us. John chapter 18, although it was bad news concerning the death of Christ, it is the reason that we have good news today. That God in His grace and mercy has given over His only Son to die in our place, that through faith in His finished work, we might die to sin and live to righteousness. So as you go through these difficult verses, rejoice, because God has offered a sacrifice in your place. And through that sacrifice and that sacrifice alone can we find salvation.